Thanks for dropping in. Earlier this month, I released several gift-themed twist lock boxes. Unlike my earlier designs, these presents have an updated mechanism that keeps the moving latches completely hidden inside the lid. A nicer presentation for a gift box. The design came in quite a few sizes, but I didn't anticipate a demand for something bigger. So this week, I'm releasing this giant twist lock present. At 100% scale, this design can provide 180 by 180 millimeters of gift carrying capacity, while still fitting most moderately sized printers. Anything with a print bed that's at least 190 by 190 would do. This design has 5 available heights, with interior space ranging from 38 millimeters to 128 millimeters deep, although that's actually a slight underestimate, because it doesn't include the 4 millimeters or so of unused space in the lid. But this is more than just a scaled up design. The new box has several extra improvements. By far the most common issue with the older boxes related to the mechanism's spring and pinion gear. The pinion gear is supposed to snap right onto a small peg on the 3D printed spring. But for some printers, the clearance between these parts is too tight. And in a few cases, the parts would fit, but the spring peg was so weak that it could snap right off. A new spring design solves both of these problems. As you can see here, the larger spring area made it possible to merge the spring and pinion gear into a single part. No need to worry about tight clearances or weak connections. The pinion gear also has a slot carved into it. To demonstrate why, let's assemble one of these lids. First, we're going to slide both latches into their tracks. Both latches should be slid so they press against the outer wall of the lid. Next, we're going to test fit the new spring. The gear should line up with the teeth in the latches. If all looks good, we're going to glue in the spring without pre-tensioning it. I know this runs counter to every twist lock box assembly I've shown before, but stick with me here. For this assembly, I'm going to use 3D glue, but you could also use super glue or even hot glue. The important thing is that you only apply adhesive to this raised outer edge. You definitely don't want to apply any adhesive down here where the latches are, or they're just going to get stuck in place. When the glue dries, the spring plate will be securely attached, but the spring itself should still have plenty of free movement. That's where this notch is going to come into play. We're going to use a flathead screwdriver to push the spring in from the back, and then rotate it clockwise 1 notch. And then just set it right back down. The spring is now pre-tensioned, and hopefully that was a lot easier and clearer than with previous twist lock boxes. The rest of the assembly is the same as before, so I'm not going to repeat the process here. Instead, I've linked to the previous twist lock present video that covers gluing in the ribbons and topper. As with other twist lock boxes, these can be printed without supports. But unlike those other boxes, these are huge prints, especially the base. It's a good idea to think through your slicing settings to save time and filament. For example, the vertical walls on the base don't need any infill. If you're concerned about wall strength though, it's often faster and more effective just to increase the perimeter count. In my case, I set my perimeter count to 2. That's 2 walls on the outside and 2 walls on the inside, which was more than enough for this 2.5 millimeter thick wall. The bottom of the base is 2 millimeters thick, so depending on your layer height and number of printed top and bottom layers, you may need infill there. Use your slicer's preview to see how that looks. If you typically print with 0.2 millimeter layer height, consider increasing that to 0.3 millimeters just for the base. The time savings are significant, and the difference in print quality should be imperceptible on such a flat, boxy shape. If all goes well, you'll have a unique and very sturdy box, suitable for gifting and regifting over and over again. Or maybe the box itself will become a useful container in some other way. Before we close out, this video marks the 1-year anniversary of the 3D Printy channel. This is also the fulfillment of my 2021 New Year's resolution, to start a channel and release at least one video per week for a whole year. It's been an amazing first year, and I want to thank you all again for joining me. In 2 weeks, I'll be back with a new project and a new set of New Year's resolutions to guide me for 2022. This is a great moment to tell me what sort of projects you'd like to see next year. Puzzles, fidgets, more boxes, or something completely different from my usual work. I'm also considering an every other Monday schedule, so I can produce some larger or more refined projects. Is that a worthy trade-off? Let me know what you think. Until next year, happy printing, and thanks for stopping by.